Nvidia officially announced the new RTX 5090 and RTX 5080, and if you are thinking of building a new high-end computer around one of these graphics cards from Nvidia, then you came to the right place. I show you the best PCs that you can build around the RTX 5080 and RTX 5090 for production work, content creation, gaming, 3D rendering, and just anything that you want. Every component will be compatible with each other with no bottlenecks, and I show you the level of gaming performance that you can expect with these systems. The links for these PCs will be down below in the video description with the latest prices and availability in your region. My name is Valentino. That being said, let's start. With the first computer, we have the best all-around PC for the RTX 5080. So this system will be amazing for basically every task, whether it's content creation, 3D rendering, productivity work, whatever you want to do, or if you want to do just gaming as well. The CPU is the Ryzen 9 9900X, which is one of the best CPUs from AMD right now. It's a 12-core processor that is going to be ideal for any task, and for gaming it's also one of the fastest CPUs out there. Then you get a 360 all-in-one liquid cooler, so you don't have to worry about CPU temps. They are going to be fine, and this Lian Li unit is one of the best looking CPU coolers in my opinion. Then for the motherboard, you get an X870 motherboard, which is going to be ideal for creators or gamers. It has a ton of connectivity, and most importantly, it will not bottleneck the Ryzen 9 9900X because it has amazing VRMs. Then for the memory kit, you get 64 gigs of RAM, DDR5 memory of course, CL30 timings, very fast speeds, and the reason why I went with 64 gigs of RAM instead of 32 is because if you are a content creator, this will help you out. For gamers, 32 gigs of RAM is going to be just fine, but I will be talking about the best gaming PC around the RTX 5080 in just a second. For the storage, I went with 3TB total of Gen 4 SSD. This is going to be perfect for just anyone because 3TB is actually quite a lot in terms of storage, so feel free to install a bunch of games or a bunch of programs. Then for the case, I went with the Lian Li Linecool 207. This is one of the best value cases in the entire market. It's from Lian Li, so it's going to be the same brand as the CPU cooler, and you will be getting plenty of airflow, so no need to worry about the GPU temps from your RTX 5080. And last but not least, I went with an A-tier rated 1200 watt power supply, which is going to be ideal for this RTX 5080 and Ryzen 9 CPU and GPU combo. In terms of the level of performance for this PC, well, Nvidia claims that the 5080 will be up to twice as fast as the 4080, but this is with DLSS 4, whereas the 4080 has DLSS frame generation. So that being said, this is first party numbers, and it seems like the more realistic number will be that the 5080 will be around 30 to 40% faster on average than the 4080. Now in some games the difference might be higher, in some games it might be lower, but we will not know for sure until we have the 5080 here. Regardless of that, let's say that the 5080 is 30 to 40% faster than the 4080. That will put it slightly faster than the RTX 4090. So regardless, you will be getting an amazing level of gaming performance. I mean, faster than the 4090 on average, or about the same, which is the fastest GPU in the market today. And if you get it at its MSRP of $1,000 US, you will be getting it at $600 US cheaper than the 4090's MSRP, or way cheaper if we compare it with today's pricing. Speaking about pricing, the price for this PC with the 9900X and the RTX 5080 will be around $2,400 US by the time of filming. Now, if you are a gamer and you want the fastest PC that you can get for gaming around the RTX 5080, then I recommend you going with a Ryzen 7 9800X 3D processor, which is the fastest CPU in the entire market today. So if you will be playing very high CPU demanding games like Cities Skylines, or you want to play a game like Flight Simulator, which requires a lot from your CPU, or let's say you want to play esports games at 1080p resolution and you need every FPS that you can get because you have a 540Hz monitor, then this Ryzen 7 9800X 3D makes a lot of sense for you. And then because this is a gaming PC, I went with 32 gigs of RAM instead of 64 gigs, so it's going to make the PC build even cheaper. The rest of the components are going to be the same, and overall it's a very similar PC to the one with the Ryzen 9 processor, but it's going to be faster for gaming and slower for content creation or just any kind of productivity work. Now with this PC, if you play at 4K resolution, you will be getting basically the same level of gaming performance as the other one, even though the 9800X3D is faster for gaming, because at 4K resolution, most games will be more graphics card limited. But if you play at 1080p and you need every frame because you play esports games, then you will be getting faster performance. But as I said before, I would only recommend you the 9800X3D if you really need every frame that you can get. Now the total price for this system with the 9800X3D will be cheaper than the all-around PC, and it will be around 2374 USD. Now, if you want the RTX 5090 in your gaming PC instead of the RTX 5080 and you want the fastest PC, of course you have to keep this Ryzen 7 9800X3D because, as I said before, it's the fastest processor in the entire market. But here, since you are choosing the RTX 5090, I went with a 1350 watt power supply, 8 year rated as well, so it's a bit more expensive. Then I chose 4 terabytes of SSD instead of 3 terabytes of SSD, and I went with a different case in the Montech King 95 Pro, which has plenty of pre-installed fans. I absolutely love the design of this case, and it's one of the best cases in the entire market. And since the case is from Montech, I also changed the CPU cooler to a 360 liquid cooler from Montech as well. With the 9800X3D, the performance difference once again will be very small for the most part if you play at 4K or 1440p, but if you need every frame at 1080p in competitive settings, in esports games or Flight Simulator for example, which is a high CPU demanding title, then it will make sense for you, and the price will be quite cheaper at 3500 USD, so it's about $400 less than the all-around PC with the RTX 5090. And if you want the best all-around PC for the RTX 5090, meaning that you want the best of the best not only for gaming but also for content creation, streaming and everything in between, then I recommend you getting the Ryzen 9 9950X processor, which is one of the fastest CPUs from AMD. Now it's not going to be faster in terms of gaming compared to the Ryzen 7 9800X3D, but overall it's going to be a better CPU for everything else. It's a 16-core processor, so there's no task that you can't run with this CPU right here. And again, I would highly recommend you this CPU instead of the 9800X3D for most people, but if you really need every FPS, as I said before, and you will be competing in esports games or you are playing simulators that require a ton of your CPU, then I recommend you the 9800X3D instead. Also, for this PC, I went with 96 gigs of RAM because it's an all-around system, not only for gaming, and 96 gigs of RAM is going to be ideal for professional content creators. Now, most people do not need 96 gigs of RAM, but if you're buying the RTX 5090, you want to have the best of the best for everything. And for the rest of the components, you get the same 1350 watt power supply, the same case, CPU cooler, everything else will be the same as the best gaming PC with the RTX 5090. The level of gaming performance for the RTX 5090, just like the 5080, it claims to be up to twice as fast as the 4090, but again, this is with DLSS 4, so if you try to compare the same settings, it seems that it's going to be around 30 to 50% faster from the 5090 compared to the 4090, so still an amazing level of gaming performance, and it's going to be mostly an overkill for most games. That being said, we don't have the exact numbers in terms of the level of gaming performance, but we know for sure that is going to be the fastest graphics card in the entire market, so you will be happy with the level of performance regardless, but the price is going to be very high. The price for this system with the 9950X and the RTX 5090, which will be the best in my opinion all-around PC for the 5090, since you will be able to do production work and content creation with no issues, and it will be the fastest PC for that as well. Well, the price will be around $3,900 US, so very expensive, but if you're searching for the fastest all-around PC out there, then this is going to be the one. Let me know if you will be buying the RTX 5080 or 5090 down below in the comment section, and if you need a more personal PC help and you want me to help you out one-on-one, then I can help you out with the top link in the description. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.